Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to the Iman Show. My name is Iman, and I will be your host today. In the next 90 minutes, we are going to talk about success. And successful life is based on your health. So also we will talk about health, and we are going to find a way to connect these two apparently not so connected topics together. I am going to talk to you, and I will have some friends who are going to join me. But first, I just wanted to let you know that today I have a very special guest. I'm so hopeful that he can. Let me tell you, this is the first Instagram live for my guest. So everything is possible. Just to let you know that. But one of the keys to success is to try things that you never done before. Try new things. So I hope that we can talk today, and he can share some of his nuggets with us about success. And he's actually a really good friend of mine, and sometimes we converse for hours. He's here, and it takes. Let's see. Let me pin the comment first, and let's go. All right. I don't know how is the everything voice sound in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, my first live Instagram
Your
live.
first Instagram live. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce you to my dear friend, Johnny Nash. He is honestly, first time when I realized what is his title was Top 1% Headhunters. And I was like, wow, not nice to be a headhunter. Okay, but to be on top 1%, and how do you talk about it? People might, is it kind of like legal liability there or not? So would you please introduce yourself, Johnny? And thank you, first of all, thank you for joining me today. And please introduce yourself, and let's begin. We're going to talk about success.
Yeah, thank you so much for the kind introduction, and especially all the wonderful things you're doing for your community on Instagram and TikTok and other platforms. You really are an inspiration and a good friend, so I appreciate you. And we've got Nowruz coming up on Sunday as well, which is the Iranian New Year, the first day of spring.
Yeah, and today is Charshamba Suri, which is...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Going over fire. Actually, we've got to do that with my kids. Yeah, I'm trying to remind me of that. Obviously, everybody will make sure there's all safe and is only in a high new kind of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Johnny Nash. And I've been in the world of recruitment and careers now for 24 years, which might give you a clue about my age, but don't tell anyone. And I left the Iran-Iraq war, really, came to the UK, couldn't speak a word of English, had an eye defect, which made me have a real inability to put myself front and center or even put my hand up, being super conscious. And that inability led to me not wanting to have any kind of limelight, certainly not coming on Instagram Live or anything of that nature. But that great weakness turned into an incredible super strength, my ability to read people, their verbals and their non-verbals. And I forged a career within recruitment and careers, covering the world of tech, fintech, digital telecoms, and coaching people, overcoming mindsets, resilience, and careers, having placed over 3,000 people globally. And I run my own headhunting business called Forte ICT. But back over to the maestro.
Oh, so you left Iran during the war, and you started your business as a headhunter, like headhunting business, which technically, because my English was not in that level, so I had to look it up first. So headhunting means you find the perfect match for a perfect task in like organizations, businesses. They're looking for a specific talent, and you find the talent for them, right? That's what you do.
Yeah, so basically what my job is, I'm a matchmaker. So a bit like dating, I match, say, Iman to Instagram and say, Instagram, I've got a potential next big thing influencer. He's got an amazing ability to talk to people, really has a good connection, a great community builder. Would you be interested in this individual? Okay, it seems to match the job description of what we're looking for on the social media side. So I put both parties together based on their competencies, their skills, their experience, their track record, what they've done to date, and more importantly, on top of that, how they marry in terms of chemistry, in terms of personality fit, cultural fit. And then that is the matchmaking process, a bit like dating. When you have a friend, I don't know if you've had this ever, where he says, I've got a really nice person for you. I think she'd be a great girl. And the other person says the opposite. I think I've got this really great guy and I think you both will get on. That's my job in the professional sense. And then on the career side, I advise people and take them from A to B to C, whether it's a pivot, whether it's a promotion, leadership role, or to become an entrepreneur where they're stuck, to become unstuck.
So that's interesting. As your career says, I assume that you. Let me ask you the way this way. Let me ask this way. This is the question: how many successful people have you seen?
So it depends on your definition of success, as everybody says. So for me, not everybody could be a Roger Federer in tennis or a Bill Gates in Microsoft, because you are born with certain attributes. For example, people argue IQ is very much genetic or inherited. That's one argument. For example, your height is largely genetic. So most US presidents have been over 6 foot. Most CEOs over a certain height as well. Which I think it gives them that kind of, when you're looking down on someone, or that sense of presence maybe, that it leads them to the top. Not always. We have exceptions like Stalin, and we have Hitler and people like that who are more smaller. But generally speaking, you are born with certain physical attributes. Beauty, they say, is a halo effect, which people with beauty tend to get on more, generally speaking, than on average. Then we have people that have some prejudice against fat people, for example, where they say that they suffer a lot in the workplace. So if you take that away in terms of your innate things that you're born with, because we can't control our genetics, where some of us are lucky enough, we're born into families which are really quite affluent and rich. They can open up a lot of doors for you, a lot of opportunities, because they put you into the right circles. I did a room on this, Dr. Iman. Are you better off born rich or smart? You know, and take away the physical kind of components as well in terms of genetics, then you're left with mindset. Because I believe that everybody has a talent. Your viewers, everyone that's in any of the rooms that I do, anyone per se has a talent. And the reason why they don't fulfill their potential is for two reasons. Number one, they don't recognize their gold, what they know, their knowledge. They dismiss it. Oh, everybody knows that. Oh, that's very easy. That's not difficult. Oh, I don't think anything of it. So they don't recognize their goal. The second thing is they don't optimize their talent. So if you don't do those two aspects, then you're not going to be truly successful, because we're really in a day and age where you've got to be visible, not invisible. You don't want to be the world's best kept secret. We're in the era of the personal brand and everything else that goes with it. So you've got to have what's called mindset. Mindset is, I would say, whether it's in the world of sport or business or in the world of work, is what elevates those who make it and those who don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was so precise and detailed answer. So let's start. As we discussed, we're going to talk about, let's say, top five qualities, or let's say characteristics of successful people as your experiences, right? So let's just start with your top five characteristics for success.
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost is people who are successful, this is no particular order, is they're problem solvers, right? They find, we all have kind of, in the world of work, you have kind of issues, or you come across situations, or in the world of business, you have issues or problems. So those who tend to be successful concentrate on finding the solutions to the problems. They see the problem and they identify the opportunity. So the bigger the problem, the more the pain, the more a customer will pay. That's why people with personal problems, if you can solve those, tend to actually lead to a much bigger paying clients, because those tend to be the most pressed and sought after ones. Our emotional side of it, our personal affairs, even take precedence over our professional. So they tend to be problem solvers. So if you look at the disruptors, those entrepreneurs, say for example Elon Musk, he saw a problem. People said it was impossible. It was crazy to have an electric car, everything else. And look what he did. He did Tesla. So they think differently. They see an opportunity in a situation rather than actually get downbeat by the problem. So they look for the solutions in solving their problem, and then they develop either a business, or in the world of work, they become a valuable employee because they're really, really good at solving problems to scenarios and situations. So the first thing is, I would say, like I said, no particular order, would be they solve problems.
Well, yeah, I am trying to find the, let's say, traits of what you are going to share with my point of view from, like, maybe like more spiritual aspects of success. And you, before, you mentioned something that everyone has a talent, like a particular talent, and it's not, I mean, there is like an ancient belief that you have like something between 3 to 5 gifts, and if you combine these gifts, and you can do something that this is only you in the whole universe that they can do this way. So that is your specific talent. And now you are talking about problem solving, and when I combine this together, it's all about serving. When you serve humanity, even if it's one person on the whole world, if you focus on how I can help, how I can solve a problem, how and this is the way that I can do it. And first, so it's begin with self knowledge, self awareness. Who am I? What is my talent? What is my inner call? And then unapologetically, I mean, like, this is that word is not something that I can say. Yeah, so you accept who you are, and then focus on what you can offer to the world to solve their problem and serve. And this is the first big step to success, right?
Yeah, no, I agree, because if you do something for yourself, you'll only go so far. People do the craziest things in causes they believe in, right? Because you will go to the nth degree for a belief or a cause, much more so than just for yourself. So I would totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So problem solving is equal serving others, serving humanity. It's not just all about me. So thank you so much. What about the next one? What do you have to say?
Yeah, although it's a slight caveat, sometimes we get the narcissistic leaders that can be visionaries, and they can create great waves and great changes, but behind it, they do have this kind of self-interest behind it, kind of disruption. So the second thing is, there's no shortcut to success. So people do look for shortcuts. That's why, sometimes in certain social audio rooms or in certain things, they look for that, tell me the secret hacks, really, tell me what I can do straight away so I can be successful. Unfortunately, folks, life doesn't work like that, right? There's always pain and there's always effort and there's always process behind the scenes that you don't see. So I would say that, there's a great quote by Thomas Edison, I've not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work, right? I've not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So true winners focus on long-term gain rather than short-term rewards. They understand success happens over a period of time in achieving their goals. So they don't just look for the shortcut. They actually don't look for a shortcut. They look at the overall pictures and they keep going because they know the long term it will get them success.
This shortcut, actually, it's killing me. Everywhere you look, people are looking for shortcuts. All on social media hacks, and let's do this overnight and make $1 million, or do this or do that. Why do you think that now everyone is looking for shortcuts? What is wrong with this?
So it goes back to some of the chats that we've had in the past. We live in an age of instant gratification, instant acclaim, instant reward, instant followers, instant everything. We have no patience anymore. And there used to be a saying, patience is a virtue, and the best things comes to those who wait. Unfortunately, we don't want to wait. We want it now. So when we have an Instagram account, look at all the amazing work that you've done, the community you've built. You haven't built it. You happen to go on Instagram one night and then expect 10,000 followers tomorrow. It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes effort, it takes, there's a whole thing that goes with it. But unfortunately, people see only the results of what people have and they think, right, I want that. I'll try it. Oh, actually, I haven't achieved that in 1 week. I'm going to give up. So we live in this kind of era, unfortunately, of instant gratification. That's why I would say don't do it.
Okay, so what I learned here from my perspective, first of all, do not compare your today with someone else's years of doing anything that they're doing. I mean, do not compare your today with anyone, but anything. You just need to be better than your yesterday. And something which is, I really believe in it. I mean, success, in my opinion, is not a destination, it's the path to the destination. You might never reach your goal, and it's better not to reach your goal ever, because it's kind of like your polar star, you just the north star. You see it, it just shows you where to go, and but the path of enjoying doing what you're doing, and because it's so aligned with that talent or gift that we talk about, I enjoy it by myself. Like I'm just doing everything I'm doing just makes me feel good, and it eventually will bring me success in the material world, or let's say validation and all the other titles, because I don't care about them. They will come eventually. So so there is no shortcut, and enjoy the path, enjoy the journey from day one to the end, and don't look like at the end of the thing, okay, so where I'm gonna reach there. Awesome. Okay, no shortcuts, and be a problem solver. What else?
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with what you just said there, because I always say this quote, really, success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. And that came from Winston Churchill, and it's so true. It's so true. So people who are successful as well, they're constantly pushing their limits, right? If you think about people that are truly successful in what they do, is that they stretch themselves rather than stress themselves. You know, there's positive stress and there's negative stress. Positive stress is when you got a lot of business. Say for example, you got a business and you got a lot of business on. That's a positive stress because you're having to deal with positive business going to generate revenue. Negative stress is when, my God, I've got no business coming in and I've got all these bills to pay, I've got a mortgage or rent to pay. That's negative stress. So when people perform at their best and are successful, they stretch themselves, and they're constantly pushing the limits. And I've basically come across this quote when I did one of these rooms before, and it's from Bruce Lee. And he says, there are no limits, there are only platitudes, and you must not stay there, you must go beyond them. Mm-hmm. So winners are always looking for new challenges. People who are successful always are treading on unfamiliar territories and wanting to learn new skills and improving their skill base. Because if you don't evolve and you don't push forwards, you're going to go backwards. So they're constantly pushing their limits.
Mm-hmm. This is something maybe I have a different idea about, and it's not the actual fact that, so yes, you need to improve. You like, as we believe that, so when you look at the fountain, when it's reached the highest level, it starts to fall. So you won't ever get the ego that, yeah, I am on the highest one, I am the top, and there's no need to improve. The stretching in that sense is actually really productive. But I believe there are so many things that we started not based on this first knowledge and awareness that we talk about. When you put too much energy and effort and time and sacrifice on something which is not your destiny, which is not your gift, which is not for you, as we discussed. So we have something, it's meant to be yours, and the other things is not yours. Doesn't matter like how socially acceptable is it you're not. And the idea of no, push harder, continue to the death, and just, it causes lots more anxiety. The more time you spend on something which is not meant for you, the more anxiety it causes. But if you actually find your way, find your gift, find your thing, and focus on it, the more energy or time you put, it turns to be your passion. So you start doing things effortlessly, and you think, okay, you never like 100% are satisfied. You try to improve. This is like very fine line, I guess, and it all starts from the beginning to not just jump into something and listen to all this encouragement, like fake positivity around. Push harder, continue, you can do it. I mean, I can't. I mean, this is not for me. I mean, even if I do all my hard work and reach somewhere, I don't feel satisfied. This doesn't fulfill me.
Yeah, those are great points, because you are really lucky if you do something you love. You know, there was once a tennis player called Tim Henman. He said, I'm lucky because my hobby is my job. And 85% of people are unhappy in what they do, and only 15% are, because most people have a job as opposed to a vocation, as opposed to a career. And the difference with a job is a job is a means to an end, which tends to implicate that you live for the weekends, you live for your 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the sun, and then you're back to the grind, and you have that Monday morning sick feeling, and you feel that sense of like anxiety and fed up, and you feel disillusionment. When you have a vocation or a career, it's a long-term thing. You have that sense of purpose, and you have that sense of like, I love what I do. And you're very, very fortunate to do that, because a lot of people get trapped in what's called the golden cage. They get responsibilities, have family, have bills to pay, mortgage, rent. They feel like, I can't do that, because if I do that, I'm going to have a drop in my living standards. You know, I've always wanted to work in a zoo, but unfortunately, a zookeeper doesn't pay the same job as a trader in a bank. But I hate being a trader. I hate it every day, but I lead this glamorous life. So what do you have in terms of choice? At that point, you have either a choice of doing something which you absolutely hate but pays all the money under the sun, or you reach a point in your life and think, right, okay, what else can I do? maybe I could set up my own business. If I can't get the standard of living I want in that zookeeping job, maybe I can set up a business, and then maybe I can then invest my money in a foundation that helps a zoo, or whatever it is in terms of your outlets and your passions and interests. So it's important to think about, if you hate what you do, find something else that you want to do. I totally agree. Because what most people fail at, and where the mindset difference is to those who go on and achieve, and I'll give my definition at the end of what success means for those of you thinking it's just talking about money and happiness or a job or a career, is basically they let their actions do the talking, you know. And I think Henry Ford said, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. And a lot of people talk a really good game, amazing game. Oh, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And they don't end up hardly doing any of it. And I always say, talk is cheap, money buys houses, and it's actions that define you as a person. So they let their actions do the talking. So when you're going to do something, to anyone out there, don't tell the world, right? Don't tell the world, show the world with your actions. Back to you, Dr. Ron.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, I mean, when you are truly satisfied with what you're doing, you don't even need to, let's say, prove anything to anyone. Your action does this, you know, like do the talking, but does the talking, but you don't even need to show the world that how good you are. As they say, when you're good, you tell the world, but when you're great, people will tell you. That you just focus on what you're doing, you enjoy every day. And yeah, so don't try to, this is again, it's kind of like this social labeling and social image, that as like a trader, that let's see which one is more happier or more successful, a trader or the zookeeper. But I believe if zookeeping is for you and you do your, you know, like job as a zookeeper, one day you will own a zoo. And it's not about, because people might say, so yeah, do your job and then, you know, like you can pursue your passion later, or you can focus on your as a side hustle. I believe entrepreneurship, it took me a lot to learn this exact word and how to, because you know, when I look it up in the books in our language, entrepreneurship means someone who owns a business, which is not right translation. And I did my own digging, and I find that it means that you make a living out of your passion. That's entrepreneurship. And if you do this, you probably will be the happiest. As you say, it's not about luck. I'm lucky that my job is my hobby. If you live the right life, your job will be your hobby anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and unfortunately what it is, and I say this to clients of mine, don't say one day, say day one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and too often in life, people will say, well, one day I'll do that. One day I'll do this. And then they work most of their life and they think, I'll get to enjoy myself and do my passion and hobbies when I retire, when I reach 65. You know, I get my pension and I'm free. I'm free to do whatever I want. Climb that mountain, go to that amazing resort, you know, do whatever I want. I've got all these plans, but guess what? The health and your body starts playing up. And I think after the age of 50, most people have some kind of ailment. And it could be quite minor, but some kind of ailment, from an eczema, from blood pressure to whatever it is. Over the age of 70, it's quite rare if you don't have anything wrong with you at all. Just think about that. Mm-hmm. So if you retire 65, we don't sometimes realize in life where we're at, and what, you know, nobody knows what their expiry date is. Nobody knows. Mm-hmm. But one thing is certain, we can't just live for this era or age of thinking, I will do everything at this certain point. No, start to do it now. or tomorrow at least. Start to do the things that you always wanted, because we don't know what card we're dealt with.
Mhm.
We can try to influence, and you're a doctor, by living a healthy life, eating well, but we inherit what we inherit, and we don't know whatever our future is to behold. So if you have that passion and you want to do that something, yes, be smart, don't be reckless or anything like that, but go for it. I think most people in life regret having not gone for things than doing things that didn't work out. That is where I would say. Back to you.
Thank you. Last week I had this talk with a friend of mine that on in this Instagram live, that I encouraged them not to quit their job just because they don't like it. This is like, it's not that I'm giving two different signals. My point is, if you're not happy with your job and you hate your job and this is not for you, do not quit tomorrow, but know that this is not your place. Because some people just settle for the comfort that is there. You sleep about 8 hours, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. You work 8, 9 hours a day. You spend more time thinking about your job or just preparing to go there and come back. It's not worth it to do this life, have this kind of life for 3, 4 hours a day and enjoy it now or maybe later. But as you said, I think it must be some kind of like a smart move to know, like, let's start it from the beginning, to start with self knowledge, and then fill this gap. If it's education, if it's experience, if it's knowledge, fill this gap. If you're gonna look for like some mentors, send your CV, send your letters and look, but don't give up on your dream while you are hanging there in with your fingertips off the edge of the world. But this is kind of like a combination of these two approaches, I guess.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And we spend 40 hours a week on average at work. That's 2,000 hours a year. We spend so much time at work or in our business. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing way more. Because if you're a small business and stuff, you are working to the nth degree. Because when you're a small business or a micro entrepreneur, I think Elon Musk said that you don't have the luxury of brand equity. You haven't got the business card of an Amazon or Facebook or Google. You can rock up and get business left, right, center. So you can't just be a bit better. You've got to be much, much better in terms of getting buy-in from others. So I totally agree with you on that point. And I think people, what happens is, being comfortable is nice. Like, it's nice having macaroni cheese or gourmet sabzi in our culture and stuff. We feel comfortable. It feels lovely. And in front of our favorite program, if we do have time to watch it. But being in a comfort zone leads to stagnation. And because you've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And when you're being uncomfortable is when you're stretching yourself, you're doing new things, you're creating new experiences, you're learning new stuff, you're pushing the boat out, you're developing, you're doing what's called personal development. And too often what happens is, so many people are product orientated. So they'll upgrade. I've got this iPhone right in my hand. I'll upgrade that every few years. We'll upgrade our laptops. We'll upgrade so many other aspects. But we don't upgrade up there. And you're not born into this knowledge, in this world of knowledge, So when you get like a great mentor or a coach or whatever it is, it can make an invaluable difference. And a mentor could be a good friend, it could be granddad, it could be grandma, it could be mum, it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be of someone formal. But I think what it is, Dr. Iman, I think we live in an age where we're drowning in information, but we're craving wisdom. Back to you, Iman.
Yeah, of course. It's not about how much do we know, because now you can click and with like a couple of clicks, you will reach to an ocean of knowledge. I think it's important that how accurate do we know? It's a lake with this depth. So it's not, but it gives us a lot of false confidence and sometimes, like the arrogance that we know everything. We don't. Like the knowledge is kind of like so tiny that to compare it with what is actually out there. And yeah, so this is all about knowledge. Thank you. So what else do we have to talk about here?
Yeah, so I'm conscious. I know you've got a big show, so we'll try to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. I would say self-belief is one of the most important aspects. It goes back to that kind of bouncy bum that I wanted to speak about, actually. So the two kind of intertwined. So you've got to have belief in yourself when times are hard, when times are difficult. I always use sport a lot in analogies, or especially when it comes to coaching and everything, because when you see any great sportsman or people at the top of their level, one thing you're guaranteed in life is hard times. Unfortunately, life is not linear. There's a lot of bumps along the way, and we will all have hard times. And I think those that succeed in terms of their mindset believe in themselves. Believe in themselves when the chips are down, when they are on, when they're at their worst, when the times are difficult, when they feel like, God, just give me a break. They just still have this innate bit of belief and will that they will overcome, that they will achieve, that they will be successful. And I label that, along with having that self-belief, is having what's called a bouncy bum, that ability to get back up when you're down. And I always tell my kids, when they fall down, I say, what do you do? And they say, bouncy bum. I say, right, get back up, because in life, you'll get knocked down a lot of times. That's guaranteed. So they have what's called resilience. And that's so, so important. When I came from the Iran-Iraq war in the UK, I could have given up so many times because of my circumstance. But don't let your circumstance define you. You can have so many adversities in life, but we have a choice in how we react to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes horrible stuff happens, and we all have a point in our life where we all have our triggers or our weak areas. Nobody on earth that is not completely Superman or Superwoman. That doesn't exist. But one thing you can do is really fight and have that bouncy bum where you get back up, you keep going, you keep fighting, or you can give up. And I always say to everybody, as long as you're alive and as long as you have help, because health equals wealth, just replace the W and H, and you have that resilience, that bouncy bum, then you've always got the chance of better times ahead. Don't give up. Never give up. Never give up on your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Again, so when you find your dreams, you don't even think about giving up, because it's not about, as you quoted Thomas Edison, that he tried like thousand times, and he didn't even think about, so what's going to say. I mean, it's all about, again, this all about the social validation. I tried, I failed, what they're going to say. I tried, I failed, what they're going to say. So if you cut this mindset off, that I don't care positive or negative, I respect them all, but honestly, I don't care what they're going to say. I just imagine in another level, when a tiger attempt to hunt something, either they make it or not. If they make it, they have a dinner, good for them. If they not, I mean, the tiger doesn't sit and cry, oh my God, I lost, and what the other tigers might say, or, this is okay. So they just shake shake the dust and shake the devil out. It's okay. So let's try again. And this mindset is absolutely powerful. And so after all that we discussed, how do you define success, Johnny?
Yeah, there's a great point about the tiger, because they say a wounded tiger is more dangerous than actually a tiger that is not wounded. So my definition of success is 3 aspects. Number 1 is to have a meaningful relationship. So that could be with a partner, wife, or husband, or whoever. You need to have a meaningful relationship, or relationships in our life. So some people associate that with having a family, for example, as well. Number two is to have a meaningful career, because we spend so much time in the world of work, whether we're an entrepreneur or whether we're working corporate or whatever it might be. So a meaningful career. And the third aspect is where most people find difficult to either comprehend or to think that they're worthy. And that is to make a difference in life. And we all make a difference. It doesn't have to be the Elon Musks in the world. It doesn't have to be Beyonce. It doesn't have to be any of these people, right? We all make a difference. We're making a difference to people in this having this conversation today. We make a difference as smiling at an elderly lady or helping someone across the road. We make a difference all the time. So those three aspects are what I would define success. And I always have said, I don't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. Back to you, Dr. Imam, and thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thank you so much for your share. And I think, all you said, I mean, I can see the magical word imbalance. Success has no meaning without balance. If you grow in some aspect, just let's say business, career, like so focus on relationship, listen too much, don't talk, talk too much, don't listen. Or, if you lose this balance, you cannot consider yourself as a successful being. Doesn't matter how much money do you make, or like what is your fame or your title. And different cultures name this balance different things. Like sometimes they call it like serat mustaqim, or like different point of views. But I think the balance between all the aspects of life is the key. My last question is, what is the relation between success and happiness?
Yeah, see, happiness sounds so easy, but yet so difficult, because it comes down to, when is something enough? When is it? When do you have enough of something? When have you reached the point it's enough? And someone told me a story about, they went to a party and there was this hugely, incredibly successful person and had artworks here and everything, and it was like a huge mansion and just incredible dinner party. And the person said, "Oh my God, what this person earns in a day, you wouldn't earn in a lifetime." And then the person turned around to him and he said, "Yeah, but I have something they don't have." And they said, "What's that?" "Enough." So once you learn, once you come into a situation, you reach a point where you can accept, I'm happy with what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're constantly, it's one thing stretching yourself and having ambition and driving, becoming better and feeling your potential and all of that kind of stuff. There's another thing together where you're completely restless because you're constantly, nothing's ever enough for you, right? You've got a house. Oh, well, the next door neighbor has just done a loft conversion. It's not as nice as mine. Oh, my car is not as nice. That, I think, is a recipe to unhappiness. And I think so many people compare others, like on Instagram or TikTok, and they seem so beautiful and happy. And, they say, "Oh, I'm not that happy and I'm not that good looking, so my life must suck." But nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. And some of the most loveliest and happiest people that you see on social media are some of the most miserable and unhappiest people that there is. So you've got to come from a place where I think of gratitude for what you have and knowing that it's enough. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Yeah, and we can continue this talk forever. I know that how we already speak like hours before, but something that you mentioned, I really want to talk about. You talk about enough. I believed, I already mentioned it a couple of times before, that abundance is not that you have everything. Abundance is that you don't need anything else. It's the limit. So that, so I'm done, I'm okay. I don't need to hoard. This hoarding all around nature, you don't see anywhere. expect human being, they want to have more and more and just hoard, because again, the first step was not right. The self-awareness, self-knowledge, what makes you happy. And I believe that the connection between happiness and success is, when you do what makes you happy, you eventually will be successful. This is so first, don't some people think that successful people are happy, which is the other way. So happy people will be successful eventually because they love what they're doing. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, just to finish off, because I know you'll have a busy stage and everything, and what you're doing now. I think people, like a lot of people associate success with monetary value and financial. They really do. It's an automatic thing where they think, oh, God, so successful. Look at the house, look at the car, look at the holidays, look at the expensive clothes and everything else. But that is only one limited version. I think it's a meaningful life. I really do, having a meaningful life. And money gives you freedom and option and choice. It does, to a degree, let's face it, it does. But if you just validate yourself only by financial means, then you missed a whole different side of your total being as a human being. Because some of the most successful people financially are some of the most miserable people on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And their personal lives are terrible. Whether it's their partners, where they're not spending time with their kids, they barely know their kids. They've tried to buy their kids in terms of making up all the times they weren't at the school play, weren't at sports day, weren't at the time when they fell. All this kind of stuff, because our time is our most precious commodity. It really is. And we can be very selfish as human beings with it. So I just would say to anybody, you've just got to look in the mirror and think, did I give it everything? Did I fulfill my potential and my talents? Was I just consumed by fear and failure? Just go for it, do it, stop delaying, start doing. What's the worst that could happen? You failed. That's fine. I failed a ton. I'll fail a ton more. But you've just got to keep going.
Awesome share. Thank you so much, Johnny Nash. Thank you for joining me today, and we had a really nice talk, and hopefully you can join me again, guys. If you of course, if you are watching us on that was your first. I saw how you interact pretty much like Clubhouse, like this kind of like a ping pong style. That was like really nice. And guys, if you want to follow Johnny, I already pinned his comment in this on Instagram is Johnny Nash 121. And if you are following and watching us on TikTok, you can. What's your TikTok account though?
Oh God, how do I do that?
I mean, you just say it, or I just I may
Johnny Nash 121.
Again, like the same.
John.
Okay, Johnny Nash 121.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was trying to look into I'm quite new to all of this kind of things.
On TikTok is Johnny Nash 121. So if you want to connect and you use and take advantage of this wisdom, feel free to do. Thank you so much, Johnny. Hopefully we can talk more again.
And speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you so much, buddy. See you later, everyone.
Sure. Bye. All right, Johnny Nash. Thank you so much for being here and talk to me. And so we learned that success is not a destination, it's a path, and you need to enjoy every single day of your journey. And this is the true meaning of success. Do not compare yourself, your life, your achievements with anyone else. Do not, let's say, be drowned to feedbacks, positive or negative. Of course, you receive them all respectfully, but be careful with the ego, or don't let anyone else tells you what you can't do. And of course, balance is all about balance. Alrighty. So now we are going to talk about other aspects of health. As you know, Tuesdays I usually talk about Juice Plus, and we talk to our friends from all around the world who have joined this Juice Plus journey with us, and we already have some friends who want to talk. There are thank you, of course, and let's let me start with introduction of Juice Plus. What exactly is this Juice Plus? We can connect it how to uh, business. Juice Plus is a product. It's a business that I connected with. It's technically the whole food, vegetables, fruits, berries, and omegas. And the mind blowing technology that they use, they can put everything untouched into the capsule. The capsule itself is uh, plant based. It's organic, it's plant based, and it will fill the gap between what you already eating and what you have to eat to have a healthier life. As Johnny said, health is the actual wealth. So I always say that when you are healthy, you have 1,000 wishes, but when you are not healthy, you only have one. That's how I am so proud to talk about Juice Plus, because it will boost all aspects of your health, your immune system, your skin, your mental health, your energy, your sleep, everything. So let's begin. Let's see who is here to join. All right. Oh, dog is here. That's awesome. Hello.
Oops, I got it. Oh boy, let's see. I got to turn the camera around.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. You just double tap. If you tap twice on screen, it will flip the thing, I guess. No? Tap twice on
Oh,
screen.
sorry. I see the little.
Hey.
No, every time I get on a screen, there's new little functions on the side and little filters.
Yeah, you don't need filters, please. Hey, so how are you doing? Thank you. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. I really enjoyed Johnny Nash. I mean, so much of what he had to say, just like I feel like I've lived that conversation and observed a lot of people, interacting in that conversation, and just very rich content for, I think, life in general, but especially in this world of the Juice Plus program, where, you sign that $52 application, at least in the States, or you sign an application to register with a company on all these different countries, and all of a sudden you go from being an employee, someone who's trading their valuable time for a limited amount of income, to you put on this hat that as an entrepreneur, where it's kind of it's a big unknown.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Doug. Would you please introduce yourself before I begin? I already have a couple of questions about the Juice Plus business. That would be nice if you can help me with that.
No, my name's Dougie Barlow. I live in Washington State, in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. Just spent a week in the mountains of British Columbia with my lovely wife, kind of recharging the battery and taking in some winter. I grew up in Western New York and originally went to school for engineering, worked on ships, traveled the world. Through that experience of my youth, I kind of consider myself a citizen of the world as opposed to this is where I'm from and this is what I know. And as Johnny was saying, I found myself, I was making money. I had a lot of free time, but I was just broken inside. The money and the time, it didn't make up for the fact that I was unhappy. And I had to search for what I was going to do next. And my friend innocently shared these fruit and vegetable powders with me over a casual dinner conversation. And I just thought, who doesn't need to get more fruit and vegetable nutrition in their daily diet? If I, can I tell other people about this as you shared with me? And if I can do that, you must be able to generate some income, because I don't know anybody who can honestly say, oh, I don't need any more fruits and vegetables, I'm good. And that was about 28 years ago. And so I just kind of along the lines of what Johnny, I didn't know that I would have such a passion for sharing something that I thought was really cool. Not everyone thought it was cool, but I just thought, wow, here is when you ask, oh, what is Juice Plus? For me, it is a possible solution to a challenge that everyone on the planet faces. And that is, as you said, if you don't have your health, you only want one thing, and that's to be healthy. And so I've thoroughly enjoyed being a consumer of, benefited from the product itself. And I think the best part, the product is great, but interacting with other human beings, trying to help, coach, provide answer, helping them find the answer for themselves so that they can either do a little bit with it or do a lot. And even if it's just consuming the product as a solution to their family health, I think that's enough. But if you really want to, Johnny talked about, when is enough enough? And I was listening, thinking, oh, well, there's always an exception to every rule. And when people say, oh, I'm looking for a shortcut, I kind of think, well, Juice Plus, it's not really a shortcut, but if you know at the end of the day that you didn't do what every health expert says we should do to maintain our health and have brain function and heart function and emotional integrity, then, there's a gap. And, Juice Plus, not necessarily a shortcut, because our recommendation is do everything that you can to eat as much plant material as possible. But at the end of the day, if you realize there's a gap, Juice Plus allows you to kind of fill that gap. So that's a little bit about me, and thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you. And I see exactly what is, as we discussed with Johnny about, let's say, success, the first thing is to serve. And when it comes to serving, when it comes to helping others, even if it's one person or the whole world, there is no enough. You won't stop serving. That's the part I can see, that because you and Dr. Mitra have been doing your business, you're having your business on Juice Plus for 30 years. And the more I interact with you guys, the more I realize that what is the purpose of, what is this fire from, where is this fire coming from? It's not about entrepreneurship. It's not about just, making more money or having more business because you reach the top. So it's not based on your, let's say, the business part, but the fact that it is helpful and it's going to change many, many, many lives, and it's going to help people to take this simple step to choose a healthier lifestyle. This is the serving that I really am, even me, after all years of practice in medicine, I learned that. So if you can just prevent it, it's much better than later you can maybe manage it or maybe cure it or treat it. And yeah, so and something you mentioned about the the community that we have. I am now trying to, if you can bear with me and we can invite some of our people who are taking Juice Plus, and we can converse with them and listen to their experience. And I just okay, let's see who is ready to join and what is their experience with Juice Plus. I see that Dr. Rashta is here, and she is like, she's been a superstar recently on whatever she's doing, and that's nice to have her. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Sorry.
Good afternoon. Hi. Thank you for joining me, Rashta. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Like I said, I'm still recovering from the weekend. I really realized I've truly found what my limits are, and so I have to remember that I'm not the Rashta from 3 years ago.
Excuse me again. 2 days in a row, Pakistani wedding. It's beyond anyone's limit. So it's not about you.
You'd be shocked. They go longer than that.
Okay.
They go longer than that. That's I went to.
It's all about practice,
but
right?
yeah, I'm still trying to recover, but no, I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you. So as you know, today we talk about Juice Plus. Every Tuesday we talk about Juice Plus. And before we get to your share, guys, this is I have my Juice Plus here. This is something I've never done, but I really like it. But it smells like fruits and vegetables and berries and omegas. And if you want to, now you're going to listen to her and you probably want to know more, you can use my bio link. There's a link on my bio link tree, and use the WhatsApp message. You can send me directly WhatsApp message, ask for more information. Or there is another link for schedule a call. If you have a health issue, you want to discuss more about it, you can schedule a call with me, a free health coaching session, so we can talk about it and make sure that you choose the best option for yourself. And yeah, so please let me know when exactly did you start it and what you feel, and you're not even doing the business yet. You're just you're just a customer.
I'm not doing the business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. I'm just not in the right place right now to do the business, in my opinion. I've been on Juice Plus, I believe, when I came back from London in January.
Mm-hmm.
I've already finished one full because I started 2 pills, and then I now take 4 pills of each,
mm-hmm.
which actually worked absolutely perfect for me. I figured that out because it's it helps me. Originally, you get kind of that real excitement and stuff like that, but with my condition, I do have ups and downs depending on chemo and what day I have and what I don't. But it really has regulated as far as my stomach, because ever since I started chemo, I've become like lactose intolerant. I'm like, I can't eat certain foods, and that it really has helped me regulate and understand. I've actually almost totally stopped eating fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a once in a blue moon we'll order pizza. And even that I noticed when I had it the last time, it just doesn't sit right. So now I actually have home cooked meals. I make them myself. And so I think that works a lot better. I've lost, the last time I weighed myself, I told you guys my story when I went on immunotherapy with the steroids. I gained 50 pounds from the steroids. And I've actually lost 21 pounds since starting Juice Plus. And so right now I take 4 pills. I take my regular medications, and then I take my 4 pills. And yeah, it's great. Anybody who has IBS, D, irritable bowel syndrome, and then constipation, it's really good for your for your bowels. And and then just generally you feel good. Because I can't even tolerate actually having vegetables. Like I can't take raw broccoli, I can't take all the stuff that I really need. I can't because of my stomach. I can't handle it. So give me 1 second. Let me put you on here. There's a lot of background noise. I apologize.
It's okay. I saw a message that someone asked if it's possible. I mean, it is now available, Juice Plus, in Canada, US, Mexico, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, all around Europe, and Dubai. And if you are in one of these countries, it's not available in Turkey yet, not India yet, but they're working on it, and it will grow faster. And hopefully one day we can reach it like all around the world. Rashta, please continue.
For that. So yeah, no, I've been taking now. I finished one full bottle set. I started on my second. The one question, and it's worked great. I've noticed a huge difference. Even my husband has noticed it, and just the weight. Because I was not exercising at all. That just started the last 2 weeks where I started walking. Because of the chemo, I have really bad arthritis in one of my knees, so I have to be very careful with that. And I don't have a good back, unfortunately. But I feel like when it came to me, I literally was falling apart at the seams when Juice Plus came to me, because it had been 3 years my diagnosis. I was the heaviest that I've ever been in my life. At 9 months pregnant, I wasn't this heavy. And I couldn't walk up the stairs out, even having a conversation. I don't know if you remember, I would have conversations and my breathing would be so bad. So now with the loss of the weight, that's a huge difference. I've noticed a difference in being able to actually be able to do work around the house. It's, my husband was just like, because he's the biggest skeptic, he's even worse than I am. And he goes, man, this thing must be really helping you because your skin seems to be glowing. And I told you, I was like, there's no way I can put in that much fruit. And I will tell you, I'm not a sweet person, but of course everybody wants it. I can't tolerate any sweet. They had Pakistani sweet there, and it's a sweet made out of carrots. I literally had like 2 little bites, but the sugar content so high for me. I haven't had chocolate, I'll tell you, because I'm not eating chocolate anymore. I'm eating nothing. I'll have breakfast. Like this morning, I had my almond milk chai, and then I had a bowl of granola cereal. And then I don't usually have lunch because the Juice Plus makes me so full. But I'll have like either a piece of fruit or I ordered, I really like bell peppers. So I ordered the small bell peppers, and I'll eat those with like salsa. So that's like my in-between. And then my dinners are basically whatever I've made. So let's say if I make chicken tikka masala or curries. So when I say curry, a lot of people think, oh, you have this. All my curries are either tomato-based or they're water-based. So there's no excess of coconut milk and all this and that and that. It's whatever the oil we and then I make every night. So, and then after I eat dinner, I try not to eat anything after 6:30 or 7.
All righty. So thank you so much. That was so precise, and I was like, oh my God.
And then make sure you get your 8 glasses of water.
Yeah, water. It forces you to drink more water. It demands your body to drink water, and that's a problem so many of us forget.
I have a question for Doug. Is there any way, like I know you've been with the company for a long time, and I really want to try the bars or like the protein shakes, but everything is like a huge commitment. Like I wish there was more of like a sample pack. Like, okay, do you want to try this? And if you like it, then, because I'm not a shake person, but I've heard so many good things about it, but I don't want to commit to a full year of it in case I don't like it. Same thing with the bars. If that's something that can be brought up, I think it would be a good idea for someone who is a little afraid of committing to a full year's worth of something that they may not, like the pills are not a problem, but like I really want to try the bars and I really want to try it, but I don't want the whole year's commitment.
We are all afraid of commitments, not just you.
The shakes, it's not a year commitment. None of it's a year commitment, but it does come, in bulk. And I would suggest that you talk to the person who introduced you to the program and ask them for some of the single serve packets, so that you can kind of sample the shake. And that's kind of what we do. The powder, the shake mix, it comes in a large bag, but it also comes in single servings. And you get the choice, are you more of a, let's take single servings on the go, or is it like at home? We use it's like 15 servings to a pouch.
Oh, we lost
But yeah, that's the best way. It's true, but that's kind of why that's how this business model works, if you will, is that the person who introduced you or someone in that network of people is engaged enough where they're saying, "Oh, hey, I can send you a couple of single servings, and you can see for yourself how you like it."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can't say enough. While we're talking about the shake, the one thing I would just like to say is that we live in a world, and even the company is a little bit caught up in it, but the consumer thinks that they need so much protein.
Okay.
And
sorry, I got disconnected. I totally apologize.
It's okay.
What happened.
It's
It
okay.
just kicked me out.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Iman was like, okay, we had enough of value.
No, I was just listening. I noticed that your connection is going bad, and it's okay. We'll come back anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah, I mean, Doug was actually explaining about the protein shakes.
I'm sorry. Do you mind going over that again? I apologize. I missed out on the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I would just so as I was saying, they come in. It comes in bulk bags or pouches, but you can also you can get the same number of servings in individual single serving sachets, where one serving per little packet. So to try, rather than having to commit to, I think it's a minimum of 60 servings. If you're not quite sure, either. And I don't know, where are you located in Europe?
No, I'm in California.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if you will send me your shipping address, I'll send a couple of the chocolate and the vanilla.
Oh, thank you.
Individual servings.
Okay.
And then you can kind of see. And even like, while we do have, there's a new product in the US called Perform. It is a protein shake. The original complete product, it's a whole food powder. It is not it does have protein in it, but I always ask this question. Do you know anyone, we know a lot of people who have diabetes, cancer, heart issues, they've had stroke, they have autoimmune disorders, but how many people do you know have been diagnosed with protein deficiency?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is no one.
No one, yeah.
Unless you're malnourished and living in a war zone,
right.
Nobody, you'd have to be starving to death, because everything that you eat, every living plant has protein in it. So all that to say that the complete shake is, what I like to tell people is, show me another product, another powder that you add to liquid that has as much plant fiber as the complete does.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why so many of us call it veggie crack, if you will, we kind of joke around. Because it's mostly a bunch of vegetables, turned into a powder that you add to your favorite liquid. But in my mind, when you start feeding, our gut bacteria wants fiber, and fiber only comes from plants. And so when you look at that complete shake, if you look at the ingredients, it has twice as much fiber, plant fiber, per serving than almost the next best product out there.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I like to, yes, protein is important, but everyone gets enough protein.
Right.
And the company does have they just introduced a protein powder. But for me, unless you're have a goal and you're trying to win the world championship, or I really appreciate the complete powder because it's loaded with fiber.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I need. And especially when after chemo sessions, those are the most difficult times for me to eat anyways. Mm-hmm. So if I have a time where I do, drink a shake and stuff, I'm not a shake person, I'll be very honest, but I am willing to try something because the Juice Plus has worked so well for me. So thank you so much.
I just want to say something about Juice Plus, and I see you guys as two, let's say, representative of what actually I'm going to point at. About Juice Plus, guys, if you are watching me now and maybe later, we don't need rocket science to tell us that fruits and vegetables are good for you to eat. And I could have started a business to sell ice to Eskimos. This is what I can do. I have had so many different offers and so many different businesses which was not aligned with my purpose, with my heart. And I didn't accept it. I had a huge offer to start an online casino, which was 100% against my beliefs and what I'm trying to do. It's not about me trying to sell you guys something. It's about me trying to improve all aspects of your health. First of all,
absolutely.
Fruits and vegetables is not magic. It's not supplement. It's not something that I invented or dog or anyone else. It's not about I created something. It's about the whole technology that they've been doing for 30 years and put fruits and vegetables in capsule without the minimum amount of manipulation and everything. So this is the most effective, it's organic, plant-based, non-GMO, no pesticide fruits and vegetables. If you can have it every day on your own, do it. Please don't go for Juice Plus. And if you can't, let us do this for you, and let the company gives you fruits, vegetables, berries, omegas in capsule with $3 a day. What I'm going to talk about now today is, first of all, because as I said, my purpose, my goal is all aspects of life, and one of them is financial freedom. Doug, you can talk about the business that the business Juice Plus offers to anyone who is willing to. Now we talk about, if you're not happy with your job, you need to make a move. Not maybe today to quit, but so you need to find something which is aligned. And if I talk to hundreds of people, everyone says, I want to help people. This is the first goal that comes to mind. I want to help people. If you want to help people, it's going to help people. That's why I'm just so passionate about it. It's going to help everyone, every family to invest in their health, to save more money on their medical bills, and make a business maybe out of it. And so first of all, I want to talk about the business part, and second of all, the community that Juice Plus, it's our community that Juice Plus offers. And I know that Rashda can talk about this for sure, as someone who started, one of the first people who joined this community, and see how this connection that people have all around the world with Ikra's story, or anyone else who had the simplest challenges in their life. They join this community and try to support each other. Please, if you want to start, Doug, please, you can do, and then we can go to Rashda.
Sure. Yeah. I'll start off with a little bit of just my background, so like, how did this guy, how did I become so, quote, successful sharing fruit and vegetable concentrates in a capsule? I grew up in a family where my dad worked. He worked so much I didn't even know him. He was never really around. Whenever, as a young person, whenever I wanted something and said, "Oh, hey, Mom, can we have that?" The answer was, I will, I'll have to consult the checkbook. Let me see how much money we have before we can do that. So I share that to say that back to Johnny's conversation, we had everything we needed. It was enough. And all that to say that when I got started when I realized I was wanting to get out of shipping and wanted to do something else, I didn't know what it was. I certainly didn't know that it was going to be telling people about fruit and vegetable in a capsule. And that was not on my list of, this is what I really want to do. But so the product stands alone, and what really caught my attention was getting educated about the actual, how do you get Juice Plus from the people that make it to the end user? Like if that's all you did, that would be a great contribution to society. But when I went to my first presentation, the concept of the product made sense. I did not know that I was a business person. I knew I was a good wage earner. If I was working for you, Dr. Rahman, and you said, "Hey, I need you to move all these boxes from this room to that room," and I would do that with integrity, efficiency, and I would try and get it done sooner than you expected, and then say, "What else can I do for you?" I mean, that's just kind of who I am. So when I was listening to the concept of the business opportunity with these plant concentrates, knowing nothing about direct sales or network marketing, a couple things that really struck my attention. And the one that really caught my attention was that if you wanted to, you could compress a lifetime's worth of work into a couple years worth of effort using this business model. Now, for me, I was 33 years of age at the time. I'd already invested, education and 10 years in a career where I realized I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I used to joke around. I would say to people, how often does work get in the way of you having fun or doing what you want to do? And so the concept of compressing a lifetime's worth of work into a couple of years worth of effort. And then what the gentleman said is, do the math. How many hours a week are you working for someone else? How many weeks of the year do you have to do that? Meaning how little free time do you have? And then how many more years will you have to do that until you decide some magical number shows up that says, "Oh, I've worked long enough now. I have enough money in the bank," or I don't know, I'm debt free. I don't know, whatever you're measuring in terms of I can retire. And so that was significant for me. I thought, wow, like I'm a good worker. I'm a hard worker. So, how many hours a week? Well, I'm already working on a ship 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 months at a time. So I just thought I'm a worker. I can do that. The other thing that they talked about was that you can do it on your terms. And I just thought, oh, well, what do you mean your terms? Well, you can do it when you want to. You can wear the clothes you want to wear. You can have the haircut you want to have. There's no code for how you present the information that you're sharing with Juice Plus. And so to say all that, when I was like, okay, this sounds too good to be true. I'll be like, and then that's where all my, it sounded good, but now I had to figure out, oh my gosh, I never wanted to do sales. I took orders from other people. I didn't know what it meant to be a leader. And the thing that served me the most was one of my mentors said, if you really want to be successful in this business, and success is that, you get to define what success is. It's not for me to say, for me, it's not the shiny car and the big, huge house. It might be the bigger boat and, having a tiny, but all that to say that he said, become a student of this model of getting a product from the manufacturer to the consumer. Not so much an industry, but understand the distribution model of how you get a specific good or a service from the provider to the end consumer. And all that to say that I became a student of network marketing. I needed to understand what I was trying to accomplish, and then what are the best ways to accomplish those goals. And at the end of the day, I realized that, I was born into a certain family, and you don't get to really pick. Well, I say you do pick your parents. You may not agree with me, but one way or the other, I'm responsible for everything that happens in my life and the previous life and the next life. But all that to say that the Juice Plus family, I started to attract people that had similar value that I had. They wanted to. If you are ever in a room with other Juice Plus people, and you ask them all to close their eyes and say, how many people are here because they want to help other people? Everybody in the room raises their hand. So in terms of, I saw an opportunity for myself. I became a student. I knew I had it. I had two things going for me. I had a good work ethic, and I always wanted to do a good job. So I put those two. In the beginning, I talked too much. I was so excited about Juice Plus. I tell everybody everything I learned from Mitra and all these other people, and I said way too much. And over time, I learned how to say less to more people. I learned how to ask better questions. I learned how to become a better listener, and I became a problem solver of people's pain points. Mm-hmm. So if you ask enough questions of people, they'll tell you what, if you could change. And this is like, as an example, one of my favorite questions is, if you could change one thing in your life that would have the biggest impact on everything that you do, what would be the one thing that you would want to change in your life, or what would be the one thing you want more of? And so the Juice Plus community, I wound up attracting. People would tell me, you're not a very good salesperson. You're talking too much. I would have bought the product 10 minutes ago, and you're still talking. So I realized that what people saw in me was passion and a lot of positive energy for what I was doing, and that attracts what we are. And so I tell people, look, don't come planning to buy the product. Don't come to the event planning to sign up. You don't have to. Just come with an open mind. And at the end, the one thing I want to ask people is, okay, so forget about what you heard about health and forget about the business. Tell me how you felt about the people that you met in that room. And that has been the one thing, especially when you look at people who have tried a lot of different things and been in this company or been in that company. The one thing they say is, wow, I can honestly say I've never been in a room of such positive, welcoming people where the number one goal, it was not to make money. It was not to become the number one salesperson. It was just wanting to help other people with the simplest thing, the simplest common denominator in life, which is, if you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the, but if you don't have your health, then you don't have anything. And I love the fact that Juice Plus is so simple. I'm a lay person per se. I have an engineering degree, but I'm not a medical expert. I have become self-educated. I love being able to use people like Dr. Iman and Dr. Mitra Ray and all these other, quote, health experts that talk about the value of eating plants. And I just get to use that information to help remind people that the answer is quite simple. It's not easy to do, but the answer is simple. You know, if we could all eat more plants, we'd all be much healthier. And I just happen to have a solution that is evidence-based. There's plenty of science to prove it, same way you would prove a drug, even more than a drug, because it's not the drug company doing the research, it's independent universities and institutions around the world. And that has been my business story. I applied myself. I set some lofty goals because that's what they told me to do. But I also set some short-term intermediate goals that just looked like I need to pay my bills. You know, I'm not trying to like win the lottery here. If I can just pay, I owned a home and I owned a car. And if I can just pay my bills, I in my heart, I was having more fun floundering my way to be successful, telling people about fruit and veg in a capsule than I was making all kinds of money solving engineering problems on a ship in a foreign land. So,
well, yeah, thank you so much. You already mentioned the community as well, and Rashta's going back and forth, coming back, go and disconnect. I don't know if she's still here or not.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think you're okay. So you're there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I can see myself now.
Yeah,
I don't know
thank you.
if you can.
Yeah. I will add my point later, but Rashta, as a part of the community of Juice Plus that Doug actually mentioned about people that you met during this journey, regardless of the benefits that you saw, what do you think about the community?
I'm honored, and I've met some of the most amazing people who I've become extremely close with, to the point of like, I've known this person for 2 months and I can share my whole life story with this person. And we're constantly encouraging each other. That's what I like about our Juice Plus. Like every morning, everybody in Juice Plus who's on the farthest time zone, everybody's always for me. So that's the first thing I get up. It's just what's going on, what's happening, and it's just and then people aside from the group have actually reached out to me with questions. I come from a medical background. I'm a pharmacist, but with me to some degree with whole plus and all that, and understanding with my my diagnosis. But as far as the family's concerned, there's so much support just you say one thing and 10 people will respond to you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 10 people will give you encouragement. Mm-hmm. And you know that it's true. It's not BS. Okay. And I will tell you, my personal experience, one of my biggest anxiety times, and I told Dr. Iman this, is when I get my PET scans. And Dr. Iman gave me some great advice. He's like, try to separate yourself, which I do. But after my PET scan, I kind of went off the face of I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want a thing. I had 2 individuals reach out to me from that family and personally ask me how I was doing. Who does that? Mm-hmm. So for me, that Juice Plus family is such a amazing place to be, that I feel that I'm very lucky to be in this situation. I want to do the business aspect of it. I'm just not mentally ready for that right now. Because honestly, I don't, with the condition that I have, even though I'm doing much better now, I can't be a retail pharmacist. I can't stand for those periods of times. My body won't allow it. So unless there's a company that's willing to accommodate me, which if anybody knows anything about retail pharmacy, most companies are not, because it's all about how many prescriptions, how many, now on top of it, how many injections we can get. So I'm definitely thinking about that. I was going to talk to Dr. Mon prior about that, but not right now. The really is amazing. And thank you, Doug. I really appreciate it. I will reach out to you for those things. I really do want to try. I was just hoping it was something like a trial pack that someone can try the shakes or the thing or the parts.
Rashda, your internet is still breaking somehow, but thank you so much for your share. If you can hear me, thank you for joining me today. It was awesome to talk to you, to have you today.
Thank you. I appreciate
Hopefully,
it. I'm so sorry. I don't
it's
know
okay.
Why
We understood you, but it was just kind of like sometimes it was just breaking. But thank you so much for joining.
Okay.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to see you. Thank you, Dr.
Talk to you soon again. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And yeah, Doc, thank you so much for your time. I'm so happy to talk to you about all the aspects, because again, there are 40 plus medical clinical research that I'm bringing up every week, and we talk about different aspects of life, of health. But Juice Plus is not just, I'm so obsessed that it's not a medication, it's not a drug, it's a whole food, and we need to see the bigger picture. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your share. Before we end the call, do you have anything else to add?
Well, it's just my own little, when people say, oh, a pill, like most people don't want to take a pill, and just I think words are important because that's how we communicate. So, Juice Plus, it is not a pill. It's actually a soft plant-based capsule filled with powder. So when you open up the capsule, you can dump it out, and it's powder. It's concentrated plant powders. And then the other thing that it's just a comment based on what Rashda had said about, she talked about people that have gut issues, gastrointestinal issues, irritable bowel, Crohn's, all these things where fiber, your gut is so damaged that fiber, even though fiber is the solution, your gut is so damaged that fiber creates problems for people. And she talked about, I can't eat raw broccoli anymore. I can't eat, fiber, and basically fiber. Fibrous foods interfere with her, and for a lot of people, their health has gone so far south that eating plants doesn't even work. So I'll just close with the beautiful thing about Juice Plus, and even for some people that have these issues, while most of what you see in the capsule is fiber, I mean, when you talk about micronutrition, which is what Juice Plus really is, it's the micronutrients. I mean, it's a tiny little bit. That you can't really, there's tens of thousands of little tiny molecules that you can't really see, because most of what you see is the fiber that's, part of the process of grinding up all this plant matter and, turning it into this powder. So I just, that is where, as the concept of food as medicine, that Juice Plus, because it is kind of pre-digested, there is fiber in it, soluble and insoluble fiber. It is not a fiber supplement, but even for some people, that the quality of the fiber that comes in the capsule there may be an adjustment period. So I just always caught, if you're a normal, healthy human being, Juice Plus, you should just be able to eat it and kind of start to notice the benefit over time. But if your health is already compromised, especially your gut health, then I always want to caution people about, starting slow. You can start slow and see how you do with one capsule of each a day. But you'll be the best guide. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just fruit and veg matter. There's no funky chemicals or weird drugs. So that would be my only thing, is just like keep it simple and know that just because it has an impact on your specific health challenge or whatnot, that doesn't necessarily mean that someone else will have the same experience. Mm-hmm. Over time, yes, everyone does better. But in terms of getting started, based on what she had just shared, I just like to kind of, under-promise and over-deliver by staying in touch, and in closing, it's kind of like when you go to the health food store or the supplement shop and you buy that supplement, who's keeping track of if it's, you're the only one that's kind of paying attention to okay, I spent money on this supplement. Is it working for me? What would happen if the clerk that sold you that product called you up, a week later and said, hey, I wanted to see how are you doing with that supplement that you purchased because you said you were having issues and we recommended this. Is it working? Are you happy? What are you going to do if you need more? Or, so all that to say that, yeah, our business model is we are the pharmacist that kind of does house calls afterward to make sure, are you happy with your purchase? Are you able to eat it consistently? Do you notice anything positive? Do you notice anything negative? Are you detoxing? And doing that, you can help people adjust their introduction to this solution that down the road has a huge impact. But as with anything, if you're a meat and potatoes eater and someone says, oh, if you want to improve your health, become a plant eater, and you just go cold turkey and you start eating vegetables only after you've lived on meat and potatoes your whole life, it's not going to be pretty. So just the ability to kind of, yes, I'm glad you purchased Juice Plus, but now the onus is on me is to make sure that you get the result that you're looking for. And that's all about building a relationship with people and kind of letting them know that that you care, that I actually care about, what's going to happen with you because you thought that this was a good idea.
Well, that was so complete. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that you joined me today. And so say hi to Dr. Mitra, please. And hopefully we can talk soon again. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Iman. Have a great day.
Bye. All right. We reached to the end of this session. I just need to announce a couple of things. First of all, if you're interested in what you heard and you want to know more about this Juice Plus product that we talk about, please reach out to me. You can find my WhatsApp message link on my bio on Instagram and TikTok. There is a link tree. Click on the link tree and you can send me a direct WhatsApp message and ask about Juice Plus. I will send you all the information that you need to make the best decision for yourself. It is available in Canada, US, Mexico, almost all around Europe, Dubai, Australia, Singapore, and Malaysia for now. I see so many friends who are recently joined the Juice Plus family. Helen, I see you. Hi. Yeah, so FedEx coming today. Yeah, so looking forward to hear from you all about your experiences. We will talk more about your individual experience. Yes, it is available in Australia as well. And Mexico. Hello, Mexico. Hola. And Austria. Yes, all around Europe almost. And so just reach out to me. Use the link on my bio. Send me a message. And I will send you all the information. I will help you to make the best decision for yourself. And thank you all for watching me. And let's see what else I want to. I want to tell you. I mean, yeah, Denmark. I want to let you know that. So if you remember, a couple of months back, maybe more like about January, we had this 2020 together movement, and I don't know how it stopped. Still on. The offer is still on. If you have a business and you want to talk about your business, my page on Instagram is ready to do it for you. Italy, yes. If you make a short video and put it on your stories, introduce yourself, introduce your store, your business, yourself, whatever you want to talk about. You mention my account on Instagram, and I will reshare your story on my stories. So this way, this is the way that I give back, and I try to support all the small businesses. Make sure to take advantage of this offer. And Townhouse is here. Let's see if, hey, Townhouse guys, there are wonderful things happening with Townhouse. I will come up with new news. I just don't want to give too much information for now. But yeah, so let's go back to our topic. Yes, make a short form video, short story, put on your stories on Instagram, mention me. I will post it on my stories, and your business will be introduced to thousands of my friends every day. Make sure you take advantage of it. And that's it. And use the hashtag on your stories, like hashtag Dr. Iman, hashtag 2020 together. If not, I will add the hashtag. It's okay. Just make sure that your page is not private. It's a public page, so I can see their story. And you mention me, so then I can repost it on my stories as well. What else? When you go to my bio on TikTok and Instagram, on the link tree, you click on it. Make sure you make your donations to Ikra. We already talked about Ikra. We will talk about Ikra. We will talk about Ikra every day until we make it. She is a little girl in Turkey that she needs the medication immediately. You're trying to collect money for her, and your donations are going to save her life. This is the most important topic for every day. If you can make a little girl live with your donations, there is no excuse not to. So please make donations. Your names will be added to our list, and later on, at the end of this week, we have raffles, we have giveaways, and we are going to join you are going to join this raffle list as well. And yeah, so there is something else, but it's too much. Let's just forget about it. Like later on, it's too much to ask. Later, yeah. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and smile more. Happy Charshanbe Suri. In Iranian culture, today is Charshanbe Suri, guys. It's kind of like they change everything, which is not so pleasant. But take care of yourself. If you are doing this firework, just do the fire. Don't go extreme. Enjoy your night in Iran, my friends, and anywhere else where you're doing. Love you all. Bye. See you soon.